anything like Bolars or strike aircraft of the day. They began arriving with the US Army Air Forces in the UK. Soon after, the initial elements of the 8th and 9th Air Force had taken up residence, and the first combat mission in the European theatre was by the 4th Fighter Group from Debden in Essex. Realised the aircraft's potential. It was longer range, it had better cooling, a lot of system refinements, and crucially, more armour protection for the pilot. The other big change to the design around that time was the switch from the high fuselage back, the so-called razorback configuration, to this one with the double canopy. And it found a tremendous niche as an air-to-ground fighter bomber, as well as being a very good air-to-air fighter, and that helped it keep a major role even after the faster and more agile Merlin-engined P-51 Mustang came into service. More than 3,700 aerial victories were scored by P-47s. 75 years ago, Thunderbolts played the biggest role of any of the American fighters in softening up the Luftwaffe on the ground, as well as in the air, prior to D-Day. Quite apart from anything else, it was the most numerous American fighter of World War II. Nearly 15,700 of these aircraft being built. And of those, the RAF took 830 and used them with great distinction with Southeast Asia Command. This is the only flying example in Europe. It's owned by Fighter Aviation Engineering, looked after by Air Leasing. Stationed mainly here at Duxford, and it's an aircraft that if you've been coming to air shows here for a long time, you will have seen plenty of times, because from 1986 until 2006 it was here with the fighter collection. To a new owner in the States, but it came back in 2018. Fighter Group, and it has the name Nellie B. And it's very appropriate the aircraft should carry those colours, because as we saw reflected in a joint fly past at the Duxford Air Festival back in May, the 492nd Fighter Squadron is still active, part of the 48th Fighter Wing, stationed at RAF Lakenheath near Brandon in Suffolk and flying the F-15E Strike Eagle, and a good link has been established between this returned P-47 and the man whose display flying was just as famous as his exploits in Warbirds on the big screen, and in which the old flying machine company became so specialised under the leadership of both Ray and Mark. There, meanwhile, John Gowdy bringing the P-47 into land, but we're now looking out for our 4 P-51D Mustangs.
25, and when you call foreground action, they just appeared in camera, dived out of the way, with the Spitfire trailing slope and the Messerschmitt firing at him, in theory.
And those were some of the most memorable sequences from the film, the ones you just described. Are there any big sorties that stand out above all others?
Remember one on the south side of Duxford, because the south side of Duxford was made up to be France, and they had a French chateau built over there, And some of the early shots were of the evacuation from France heading back to the UK. And they wanted to show a film of a couple of Spitfires emerging from smoke, which the airfield had been bombed. And so the camera was positioned on the far side of the smoke. The two Spitfires came rushing through, but got slightly offline. And so instead of appearing going straight down the runway, they were heading straight for the camera. So the rushes for that were quite interesting, as the camera went in all directions and the guys died for cover.
Was it just the Spitfire that you flew during the filming, or did you get to sample some of the other fighter types?
I had to go to all of them, actually. I managed to fly the Hurricane, just a few flights, and I did one trip in the ME-109 and one trip in the Heinkel. In fact, I took the Spanish pilots for a second.